We're now recording. Good morning, CJ. All right, today is June 29th, 2023. My name is John. I moderate the BYOB trading room. So let's start this day off. Yesterday, at the closing 10 minutes or the closing 20 minutes, we had a rally into the close. Not a big rally, just kind of back to the high of day. So let's go take a look at the SPY. All right, so my morning SPY pivot is 435.75. How did I get that? All right, let's go take a look. We go to the 10-minute chart. It's the same chart I use every time to determine where I want my pivot. I noticed that they're telling me that this number is important because they touch it so many times throughout the day. They were on top of it, they were below it, and they slammed through it. So therefore, they're telling me that that number, 435.75, is relevant to them yesterday. So it's going to be relevant to me today. Below that, I'm going to be a bear. Above that, I'm going to be a bull. So there it is, 435.75. So let's back out, look at the SPY on the 2-hour chart. That was the 10. All right, so here we are with the 2-hour chart. This right here, this is the pullback. It was a 5 or 6 day, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had a 6-day pullback from the recent high. So this is a pullback opportunity, otherwise called the PBO. All right, this is a pullback opportunity right here. Price comes back, makes the higher low. From here, from the higher low. All right, the pressure is going to be on the bulls to produce the higher high. As you can see, we're already gapping up in the morning. It's a little early. It's only 8:04. We still got an hour and a half. This thing could melt away by, 9:30 or so. All right, so here's the 2-hour downtrend. It's broken. We've made the higher low. Now the pressure's on the bulls to produce the higher high. Okay, so now the next task is, where are we in relation to the midpoint? Well, this is just pre-market, so we really can't count on all of it, but we will look at it. So here we are. We've come up to the midpoint yesterday, almost kissed it, and now we're trying to bust through here early in the morning in the pre-market. So this is where the midpoint is. What we want to see is price to probably move back up to the upper third of the last bullish move and move sideways. That's what we'd like to see, to get up and back up to the upper third. That would show us that the SPY is still going to remain bullish. So we want to get up through this, probably come back, test the midpoint at some point in time. Maybe not today. It may be in a few days, but at least get back up to this area here, this 440 area. So right now we're at 438. We're only a couple bucks away. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So now this is the time, all right, when I increase my bets. In other words, I have the confirmed bottom here, higher low. At this point in time, I increase my bets a little bit more. So if you look at my account, I've got 95,000 on the long side, 13,000 on the short side, okay? So now I'm going to increase that as long as we have a 10-minute uptrend. When the 10-minute uptrend retires in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, I'm going to pair that back to 95 or 75. All right. So right now I'm going to increase my long side. Why? Because we're bullish. We're in a bullish uptrend. It's in a daily uptrend. We've broken the 2-hour downtrend and we've made a higher low. If we get over the midpoint and start bull flagging, I will increase it even more. Okay. It's like getting a pair of aces at the blackjack table. All right. When you got a pair of aces, what do? You split them and double down. Okay. This is what is going on right now. You just got dealt a pair of aces. Okay. You're at the blackjack table. You got a higher low and you just got dealt a pair of aces. This is your time to increase your bet. Excuse me. This is my time. My time. I'm not telling you what to do. I take that back. It's just me. This is my time to increase my bets right here. Okay. We've got the higher low. The bulls are in charge. They look like they want to move through this midpoint area. All right. If they fail, then they fail. That's all there is to it. Then I go back to my original position. I close out the 10-minute trade. That's all there is to it. And I go back to where I was and I just wait for the bull flag to happen. So let's go back and look at the channel that we're in. Now, what did I say I would like to see? I'd like to see it bull flag on top of this uptrend line, and we got it. I said we wanted to come up to this uptrend line and bull flag underneath it. Instead, we got on top of it. And I said, well, that would be really great if price action would bull flag on top of that one as well. Well, it didn't quite do it, couldn't hold it. So it came back, and now it came back to where? To an area just above this uptrend line. So didn't quite make it to this uptrend line. I would have liked it better if it spiked it and then came back out of it. Leaving this open, not hitting this uptrend line is a signal that in the future, not necessarily this week or next week, that when we come back to this area, we go through. Okay, it's telling me this was not the target. Something else was the target. All right, so that's what that tells me when they come up short to hitting this uptrend line. So now where's the target? So we're going back to the midpoint. So the question is the midpoint now going to force it all the way back to the uptrend line, the lower uptrend line? Okay, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the midpoint. Is the midpoint going to fail and let price breach it and follow through back up to this uptrend line up here? Or is it going to hold it and force it down to the channel line, the lower channel line that it never hit earlier? So we're going to find that out this week, and we'll see what's going on. So right now we're just kind of bull flagging in this channel. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Letting the market rest, pick up some energy. The longer it bull flags in this area, the more likely the next move higher is going to be to the high side. All right. So what do we have this week and last week? What did we talk about? We talked about the window dressing. Okay. It's the end of the quarter, and these are the last 2 days of the month, be today and tomorrow. Are they going to want to jack the price up so they have a good month when they submit their statements or their quarterly statements to the people, to their clients? So there's a possibility that they're going to want to jack price up so that they can have a nice statement that they can submit to their clients, showing the clients that, hey, stick with me, I can produce you profits. All right. So there's a little bit of connotation there that they may want to jack it up. We'll see what happens. Right now, things are looking good. If you get a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, that's what I'll be playing. A 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. I'm looking for the 3/8 cross and price action to be up over VWAP and stay over VWAP. So that's what I'm looking for today in the SPY. So there's the SPY. There's the morning pivot, 435.75. QQQ. Let's go to QQQ. QQQ right back at the midpoint. You can see right here in the early morning hours. Like to see this. Here's your 2-hour pullback. They broke through. Like to see the QQQ climb back into the upper third of this move here. Where would the upper third be? There's the low. There's the high. They're already at the upper third. I'd like to see them re-challenge the highs. Okay, that's what I'm looking for, is for them to break through the midpoint and hopefully just hang around up here. We'll see what happens. So there's QQQ. So what moves the QQQ? FNGU. All right, here's FNGU. And we'll drag this back all the way. Here's your 2-hour downtrend in the FNGU. FNGU is tried hard yesterday to break through the midpoint, failed to close candles up there. Just got some bodies and spikes up there. That's all we got. Right now in the pre-market, we're already back there. So we'll see what the QQQ, if it's going to hold price or they're going to send it back down to test this low. So we'll see what happens in the FNGU. And that's bullish right there, breaking the 2-hour downtrend. You got the higher low. So when you get the higher low, you know what I say, the pressure's on the bulls to produce the higher high. So we'll take a look at this on the daily. Green trend indicators, everything's looking good. All right, just need the follow through from the previous day's candle. That's what we're looking for. One more day up. So there's FNGU. So now let's look what else moves the QQQ. Let's take a look at the SMH. All right, here's the SMH. There's your 2-hour pullback right there. We'll go to the 2-hour chart. You can see here's our 2-hour pullback. And price breaks through the 2-hour pullback. We have the higher low. Pressure's on the bulls to produce the higher high. Okay, if we just take this out, measure the pullback. Again, we're at the midpoint. So everything's kind of at the midpoint in an early morning hour. You got the SMH, the FNGU, the SPY, and the QQQ. So they may have to test it once or twice before finally breaking through. Expect that. So there's SMH, bullish. Take a look at it on the daily chart. Green trend indicators all the way up. Had a red one here, and then we turned it back green the following 3 candles. All right, so we're looking for this to remain bullish and move back into the upper third up here of this pullback. Again, all of these are PBOs. It's a pullback opportunity. You're breaking the trend. Now you get the chance to make your bet. You get the confirmation. Be nice to get some price movement or some closing candles over over the midpoint. That would be awesome. Then we could increase our bets then. So there's SMH. Now let's go look at the diamonds. All right, so here's the diamonds on the daily. There's the 2-hour downtrend. I'll back out. Here's 2-hour downtrend, breaking the downtrend right there, making the higher low. Pressure's on the bulls to produce the higher high. If you look at the last low, was probably over here. And you can see we're making a higher low here. It is a lower low compared to this, but is a higher low compared to that. Still bullish at this time. In the daily chart, as you can see, trend indicator's green, probably turned red a couple days, now back to green. And if we back out and connect the two lines, you can see you're still in the uptrend, still above this line. All right, we had a 2-hour downtrend. We just broke it. Now we're looking for price to go challenge the highs one more time. Actually, multiple times. We'll take one just to begin with. But there's the diamonds. So let's measure the pullback. So here's the pullback in the diamonds. Diamonds showing a little bit of weakness compared to the rest of the market. Okay, notice they're not leaning on the midpoint like the rest of the market was. That may be a clue. We'll see what happens. Now, IWM. All right, so now here's our IWM. Let me get a clean chart. Here's a clean chart of the IWM. Here's the 2-hour downtrend. Let me share that with you. There's your 2-hour downtrend. We broke the 2-hour downtrend right here. And now we've made the higher low. So what pressures on the bulls produced the higher high. You can see we're all the way back at the midpoint on the IWM. Looks like we may make it through, or we're going to spike it hard today. We'll see. We'd like to see at the end of the day, we'd like to see in all of these indices, we'd like to see them close the day over the midpoint. I can't predict what's going to happen, but that's what we'd like to see. Failing to close the day over the midpoint, I think may have a possibility for us to come back down and test these lows. But that's what I'd really like to see, is price action to close above the midpoint in all of these indices. Now, we're going to look at some other stuff, but I want to take a look at the dollar. So here's the dollar. This was the big dip, and now it's kind of coming back. I am on a 720-minute chart. I think that works out to be about 6 hours. So this is a quarter of a day right here. So we're moving back down. This would have been yesterday. I'd like to see us move back down to this area here. Weaker dollar is good for our markets because our goods and services become more affordable, more competitive across the global economy. So there is the dollar. Now let's go look at the economic numbers. Economic numbers, we got GDP coming out in 10 minutes. Jobless claims coming out in 10 minutes. And we've got one other to look at, and that would be Max Payne. Tomorrow's options expiration. Max Payne for tomorrow, 434. We have a 3-to-1 put to call ratio. Means the market is loaded up on puts. Right there. A 3-to-1 put to call ratio for tomorrow. And the Max Payne's 434. I'll bet they jack it up to 440 just because we've got a 3-to-1 put to call ratio. We'll see what happens. I'm not making any predictions, but I think that's a possibility that they do come challenge those highs one more time, at least to stick it to the shorts, and we could get a short squeeze come tomorrow. Now, bear in mind, last Friday we had the same scenario just about, and we were waiting for the short squeeze, and we waited for the short squeeze, and it never really materialized. So don't put a lot of faith in this one either. All right? I'm just prepping you ahead of time based on how we experienced the last two. All right. So last Friday, we did have the same scenario set up, but the short squeeze never really materialized. They gave up the ghost probably at about 10:30 or 11 o'clock last Friday. So now let's go take a look at IYT. Here's our transports on the daily chart. Here's our daily chart. Bullish, green trend indicator. What do we have on the daily chart? Let's go look at it. And what we have is a 4-candle MMRP. All right, here's your igniting move, your pause, check of support. It's your first move up right here. Huge move up. I don't know if that's going to be true. I think that's today's candle. No, that was yesterday's candle. So today begins the beginning of the following day's candle. Now, do I expect them to gap it down here and do the same thing? No. I think they're going to probably start it up here and then move it down. And then from there, the next candle will start out a little bit higher and then move up. So this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to probably jack price up a little bit, but then make a higher low with the next 4 candles. So in other words, if I took my drawing tools out, let me get rid of that, and get my marker and put candles in, what would I expect? Probably something like this. And then some pullback to here. Right here, and here, and here. And then probably work itself back up for the next 4 candles. Remember, market moves in a zigzag fashion, so I would expect this to probably put in a topping tail today, or maybe a solid candle up, a reversal tomorrow on Friday is a possibility, or some rest, and then another candle, another battery of 4 candles up higher. So there's the MMRP on IYT. Now those candles haven't been formed yet. All right, I'm just imagining this. I'm playing this out in my head, how it would play out and what I would look for. Well, I'd look for a bottom around here, right on minor support. That would be the higher low. Catch that right on minor support, right through there. And then how would they do it? Well, they already made the higher high because they're going to do that today. So then they're going to pull back, and I hope they catch on minor support and J hook, and then get 4 more candles to the upside. That would complete the MMRP. You got your igniting move, your pause, check of support, and now you got price advancement move 1, price advancement move 2, and then we're looking for price advancement move 3. Okay, so there's the IYT. That's bullish. Here's the 2-hour downtrend. Take this out. You can see here's our 2-hour downtrend. We broke through the 2-hour downtrend, made a higher low, pressures on the bulls to produce the higher high. They've already done it. They've done everything that we've asked them to do. What would we really like to see now, disregarding the MMRP? Make a higher high or just bull flag over to the right. Like to see them get up and move to the right. Kind of show me that they can hold this area for an extended period of time. There's IYT. We just did the SMH, so now let's look at the XLF. And we did the FNGU, XLF. Let's look at the XLF on the daily. Still struggling with that midpoint. Okay, we found support where? On minor support. How do we know it's minor support? Because this apex sticks up right there. That would be like a tail candle if you moved out to a smaller time frame. On the weekly, see, it just comes up and comes back. But anyways, you get my drift. All right, see the move up and the move back. All right, so where did they find support? Right on this peak right here. Now, they put in a higher low. Pressure's going to be on the bulls to produce the higher high. Now, this is the big one. This is the one that's been holding us back. All right, we could get a really robust rally, if the XLF breaches that midpoint and starts to hold. That would show the market that the financials may be out of the woods. All right, that would really help us. When you get the financials in an uptrend, you got the semiconductors and the QQQ in an uptrend. If you got the FNGU, I mean, that can carry the market all by itself in an uptrend. You got your small caps, the IWM. You got small and mid caps when they're in an uptrend. And then you've got one other one. What am I forgetting? The transports. When you got the transports in an uptrend, you can get a really robust rally. We could see 450, 460. If this thing gets up over the midpoint and holds or makes the higher high up here, just letting you know, 450 could be on your radar or in your scope crosshairs if we start to beat this higher high. If we make a higher high and beat this high right now. So there's the XLF. Now, what do we have? We got PSTG. PSTG is in a 5-day MMRP. All right, so here's the igniting move. There's the pause, price advancement move 1, price advancement move 2, and it looks like today marks the third day of price advancement move 4. Here's the MMRP and PSTG. Amazon's got kind of a 1-day MMRP. We'll see if it works. We did get that doji gravestone candle yesterday. Thank you, Malcolm, for pointing that out. Here's your igniting move up, your pause, your check of support. 1, 2, 3. We're looking for 3 candles to the upside. We're looking for this one to breach this high. We'll see what happens. Now, the market's already started out with a rally in the pre-market. We'll see if they can hold it. It's 8:30. Maybe something will come through for us around 8:30. All right? Just remember, you got the higher low, you got the confirmation, and you just been dealt a pair of aces. Question is, what are you going to do? All right? I'm going to look for those 10-minute uptrends, those 3/8 cross on the 10-minute chart over VWAP. Those are the ones I'm going to want to play. All right? So that's my plan for this morning. And that's my analysis of the market at this time. Things could change. Remember, 8:30, we got some data coming out. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to shut the recorder off. I'm going to go answer a few questions. All right.